The Olympics are celebrated as a pinnacle of human achievement, a global gathering of the world's finest athletes. But behind the glory and spectacle, a darker history exists, a history of tragedy, where the ultimate price was paid in the pursuit of gold. From scorching marathons to icy tracks, these are some of the most tragic deaths in Olympic history. On July 14, 1912, the Stockholm Olympics hosted what would become the deadliest marathon in its history. Among the runners was Francisco Lazaro, a 21-year-old carpenter from Portugal. Unaccustomed to the oppressive 90-degree heat, Lazaro made a fatal mistake. Believing it would protect him from sunburn, he coated his entire body in a thick layer of beef, fat and wax. But this protective layer was actually a death sentence. It sealed his skin, preventing his body from sweating and cooling down. As the race progressed, Lazaro's body temperature skyrocketed. At the 18-mile mark, he was seen staggering, confused, classic signs of heatstroke. Just 5 miles from the finish, he collapsed. Rushed to a hospital, he never regained consciousness and died the next morning. Lazaro became the first athlete to die during an Olympic competition, and his tragic death led to new safety rules, including mandatory water stations. Fast forward nearly a century to the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics. Just hours before the opening ceremony, 21-year-old Georgian luger Nodor Kumaratoshvili took his final practice run. The Whistler track was known for being the fastest and most dangerous in the world, with speeds exceeding 93 miles per hour. As Nodor rocketed down the icy chute at nearly 90 miles per hour, he approached the treacherous final turns. A slight steering error sent his sled shooting up the wall of turn 16. He was launched from his sled like a projectile, flying through the air and striking a steel support pillar. The impact was horrific. Medical personnel were there in minutes, but his injuries were unspeakable. In the wake of the tragedy, the track was modified with higher walls and padding around the steel supports, a somber reminder of the fine line between triumph and disaster. Another winter tragedy struck at the 1992 Albertville Olympics. Swiss speed skier Nicolas Bocoté was in France for a demonstration event where athletes hit speeds over 125 miles per hour. On the morning of February 22nd, the 27-year-old decided to take a casual warm-up run on the regular slopes, not the specialized speed course. While skiing down an intermediate slope, he encountered a massive snow grooming machine. It's unclear exactly what happened, but Bocoté either misjudged his line or lost control, and at his speed, there was no time to react. He collided with the rear of the multi-ton vehicle. The impact was so severe that he was killed instantly. His death sent shockwaves through the Olympic community and led to much stricter rules about the interaction between athletes and resort operations during the Games. Drug use in sports has a long and dark history, and the Olympics are no exception. At the 1960 Rome Olympics, Danish cyclist Kurt Enemark Jensen was competing in the team time trial under a blistering 104-degree sun. Unbeknownst to many, the 23-year-old had taken a blood circulation stimulant that was legal at the time. The drug was thought to improve performance, but its effects in extreme heat were dangerously misunderstood. As the race wore on, Jensen began to struggle, weaving on his bike. His teammates, thinking it was just fatigue, urged him on. Then, with only 5 miles to go, he collapsed. He was rushed to a hospital but died hours later. An autopsy revealed that the combination of the stimulant, the intense heat, and extreme exertion had caused his body's cooling system to fail completely. This tragedy sparked the first serious discussions about drug testing in the Olympics. The 1964 Innsbruck Winter Olympics were marred by tragedy before they even began. Just days before the opening, 19-year-old Australian alpine skier Ross Milne was training on the notoriously difficult Patrick Cofield downhill course. He was one of Australia's most promising young skiers, eager to prove himself on the world stage. During a high-speed training run, as he navigated a technical sequence of turns, he lost control. At speeds estimated over 60 miles per hour, he veered off the course and into the trees lining the track. The impact was catastrophic, and he was killed instantly. This heartbreaking accident led to immediate changes in course safety, including wider margins and better protective barrier standards that are still in use today to protect athletes from a similar fate. The human cost of the Olympics isn't limited to the athletes. The massive construction projects required to host the Games have a tragic history of their own. The 2004 Athens and 2016 Rio Olympics stand out for their devastating worker tolls. In Athens, a frantic rush to finish delayed venues led to dangerous conditions. At least 4 workers died, including a man who fell 100 feet from the stadium roof when a safety cable failed, and a crane operator who was crushed when his machine collapsed. The situation in Rio was even worse, with at least 11 construction workers losing their lives. Incidents included a crane collapse that killed 1 worker, a stadium roof section falling and crushing 2 more, and most tragically, the collapse of a newly built coastal bike path that plunged into the ocean, killing 2 people. Investigations revealed systemic problems like substandard materials and a blatant disregard for safety protocols, all driven by the pressure to meet deadlines. These deaths serve as a grim reminder of the hidden price paid to stage the world's greatest sporting event. The stories of these athletes and workers are a sobering part of Olympic history, reminding us of the risks involved in the pursuit of excellence and the importance of prioritizing safety above all else. If you found this video insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. And let us know in the comments what piece of history you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching.